right, so we've been using asset warp to add joints and bones to our model to make it easier to animate. Okay, so we can still use motion tween, or not, they're not motion tweens technically, classic tweens, but we're still using tweens to animate as opposed to having to do something frame by frame, which would be a lot more work. But we're getting a little more fluidity. Remember the whole point of we're trying to get more fluidness. Okay, we want the animations to be less rigid. So here I have this drawing. Okay, this is a drawing of a little robot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bone structure to it. Okay, and we're going to do a little bit more of an advanced bone structure. So you really have to think about where are bones within a character. So it's like, okay, think about your own skeletal system. It's like, well, any place where your body rotates, that really should have a joint. So like in the shoulder, the elbows, the wrists, the pelvis, the knees, the feet, you need something to control it. Probably should have something in the neck to allow it to, rotate its head, maybe something at the top just to move this part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the center. And I'm going to add a bone structure here. And then I'm going to go out and I'm going to click and add them. Okay. Now remember, if you move them, if you accidentally misplace it, we can always edit the rig later. So let's not worry about that right now. Now, this actually would go, like that, right? I actually want to start from here. So what I'm going to do is if I click, whatever joint has that little red dot, that's where you're adding bones from. And I'm going to click here. And now I'm adding in the shoulder joint, the elbow, the wrist. I'm going to click back here so that I can add bones. I want something that's going to control let's do this. This would let you kind of control the top of the head. And I'm going to click here. This is for the knee and then for the foot. And then I'm going to click back so I can pull the bone from here and click into the knee and then click here. I'm going to click back in case I want to edit it. Let's go to edit rig. That looks pretty good. I just might do some minor adjustments. Just moving them where I want them to be moved. That looks pretty good. Okay. All right, so now that I have my bone structure, I'm going to have this arm move up while this head moves to the left. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm going to have this leg move inward while this arm moves up. So let's start it off in the pose that I want. I like it kind of like this. Let's have this arm kind of all the way down. I want the hand kind of on the knee like that. That's the start pose. And then let's add in the keyframe. And then I'll click here and then, rotate the arm. That's a little too much. Let's actually rotate it from here. Oops. Okay, and then I want this leg to kind of come in. And this head is going to kind of actually, I'm going to undo that. Let's use this. We'll rotate the head a little bit. Let's use a classic tween. Okay. So, we're taking a static object and we're adding some basic animation to it. Now it's never going to be as fluid as a frame by frame, but it's still better than, just moving a static kind of, symbol around. It gives a little more fluidity to our character. So here in exercise 12, I just want you to try the same thing. So let's try, oops, it actually here, these bones were all soft. That's why they were kind of moving. I wanted these all to be hard bones. Making these hard bones will definitely change how they move. You can play around and see kind of what works best for, what you're trying to do. So now that I've done that, there you go. So it's like not quite as curly, it's kind of, moving around. So what I want you to do is take this character and add bones and see how it works. So I would come into here. Once again, I'm just adding in bones. Click on a joint to pull a bone from it. I put the elbow about there, and then this is the wrist, elbow, and then wrist. And I add kind of the knee. Knee should be about there. I mean, and I'm going to put a little bit here so I can tap the toes. All right. If I feel like this is off, I'm going to edit my rig by right-clicking, go to Edit Rig. So I might get these to be kind of more like that. That looks pretty good. Maybe raise this slightly. Okay. All right, now that I got that, let's start with my character. I'm just gonna lower the arms a little bit. Like this. And then I'm gonna go here, insert keyframe. She's growing a little too much in the chest region. So I might go back and maybe like a soft one would make it a little better. Like I might, maybe adding a bone in here would actually help. So I might have to delete some of these bones and rebone it. Because this is affecting too much of her torso, your upper torso area here. But you get kind of the idea. So maybe like, I don't know. So I'm gonna have it so that her arm or her leg goes out. And let's rotate this joint, like she's kicking a soccer ball or something. All right. So, it's far from perfect, but it definitely allows you to do some interesting things, some minor part of this looks weird because I think actually maybe her knee should really be like there instead of there. So once I got to go back and I'd re-rig it a little bit to make it look a little more natural. But you can see how, for minor animations of just making someone wave their arm or move their arms up and down or rotate their head or something like this puppet warp could be a really easy way of doing that without having to do a lot of frame by frame animation. Okay. So I wanted to try that out. That was 11 and 12.